counterterrorism and foreign intelligence collections and have a new function to respond to whistleblowers and have new investigatory roles.
Wrote that had the quote, had the program been in place more than a decade ago, it would likely have prevented the September 11th terror attacks, end of quote. Further, you wrote that the program has, quote, has the potential to prevent the next 9/11.
Previously titled Ohio State University's Moritz College of Law.
It is absolutely true that the 215 program has not played a significant role in disrupting any terrorist attacks to this point. That is a different statement than saying the program is not important. The program, as I said in the op-ed, only has to be successful once to be invaluable. And it does carry the potential going forward to prevent a catastrophic attack on the United States.
What was the group's assessment of the privacy risks associated with your recommendation that the metadata be stored in private hands?
And therefore, our judgment was that the government should not have possession of this information, because if it does, there's always the possibility of someone coming along down the road, seeing this as a great opportunity to get political dirt on individuals, on their activities, on their organizations, their associations, and that's a danger that we want to avoid. On the other hand, we do believe that the data is useful, and the idea was to find a way that would enable the government to have access to the data, but minimize the risk that it could be abused in that way. And our judgment was that keeping it in private hands would still pose, as you say, privacy risks, but the privacy risks would be of a very different order, and they would be much less in the sense of the kind of abuse that historically we're most concerned about with the government.
Of people, however well-intentioned they might be within the NSA.
We keep hearing that somehow if this program had been in place before 9/11, it could have prevented that. Now, Mr. Clark, you were a senior counterterrorism official at the time of those attacks. Would the bulk phone records program have prevented 9/11?
Senator, I think it's impossible to go back and reconstruct history. And I think while what if history is interesting academically, it's very difficult to say with accuracy if one fact had been changed, if the outcome would have been significantly different. I think we can say this, that if the information that the federal agencies had at the time had been shared among the agencies, then one of them, the FBI, could have gone to the FISA court and could have, in a very timely manner, gotten a warrant to monitor the appropriate telephones. They didn't because they were unaware of the information that existed elsewhere in the government at the time. But there was a period of over 2 years where that information was available. So it would have been possible, in a very timely manner, to get a warrant from the FISA court.
Quaint concept of an inspector general in departments working